Kat, and this is Kit Kat Knits, my new knitting podcast channel, whatever you want to call it, for all things knitting. Thank you so much for watching. I hope if you enjoy this video that you would consider liking and subscribing. Got a lot to go over today. So some big finished objects, some smaller ones as well as starting a couple of new projects and looking forward towards Christmas. I sent out a survey right at the beginning of October to my family, asking them what they wanted this year, and got some answers. And so yesterday I did a little bit of a yarn haul, went to my local yarn store and went big. So excited to start those and can't wait to get into more winter knitting. I don't know where you guys are all watching from, but here in Michigan, this has just been the most gorgeous fall, and just really been enjoying the weather and getting to soak up this kind of long exit from summertime. So grab a cup of something and let's dive right in. All right. So to start off with, this is Ziggy and Queenie, my dogs, if you see them around in the shot, hopefully not barking. These are my two corgis, the one of whom is standing on my first finished object I'm going to show you guys. So this one you all saw in the video last week. This is my take on the Gallis jumper, which I will of course link in the description below. But this was a really fun knit. It was a bulky weight yarn, so it knit up really quickly, and the pattern was simple but nice and very visually effective. I did make quite a few modifications, some of which I talked about in my last video, but basically I lengthened the body and the sleeve arm. I also did a different style of sleeve. These I pretty much patterned myself, just because the pattern called for balloon sleeves and I just didn't really want that. I wanted a kind of tight-fitting, cozy sweater, and this is it. I got to wear this on Monday to see my knitting group, which meets at my work, and they were all just in love, and I just wish it was a little bit cooler because we were hot. But when the sun went down, this was such a wonderful wear, and it is so soft. This again is made with a cotton merino baby alpaca blend of yarn, and after blocking I think it's really held up very well. I was a little concerned about pilling, to be honest, and fuzz, but it's pretty gorgeous, and I'm excited to see how this wears and to incorporate this into my wardrobe over the next few months. My next big finished object I had not started in my last video, but I did show you guys the yarn. This was made with a Cloud9 Fibers, the Vivace, which I believe has been discontinued. But it is a silk wool blend of bulky yarn. Again, my last kind of big yarn buy was a lot of bulky and super bulky fibers. I'm gonna take this off the hanger. But this is this was called the Vivi jumper, Vivi vest. I forget, like I said, I will link as well. I did, again, I made a couple of modifications, and I ended up going with a very simple pattern just because this yarn ran super thin and thick in spots, and I looked at a bunch of projects that other people had done with it, and I loved that kind of modeled, kind of grungy appearance. You know, it looks a little unkempt, and I kind of love that. I'm very inspired by punk and kind of pop fashion, and I love bold color. So I thought that this was just such a fun transitional piece and layering piece that I cannot wait to wear. And I also love yellow. It is one of my favorite colors, and this is such a fun, funky, cool yellow. Obsessed. my other finished objects, I, like just about every other knitting podcaster I've seen lately, have decided to jump on the Sophie Scarf bandwagon, and I admit I may have gone a little crazy there for a minute. Get out, dog. So these are my Sophie Scarves. Now I say that, but this one I actually made for a dear friend who loves pink. I've just been a little slow getting this into the mail, but this one I made for her, and then for myself, I made, this was my first one, and there definitely are a couple of little minor errors, but I just wanted to get it done. And I don't regret it because it kind of gives me grubby pirate, and I love that. And then this one I made after, and these are actually the same yarn. This is a cotton acrylic blend. I believe it's from Knit Picks. I'm blanking on the exact one. I had this in my stash already in these really fun colors, and I do have a couple of other colors of this, so I might go and make a few more. But this one is my Daphne scarf, and I have had a lot of fun with all of these, just getting to wear them and kind of accessorize a little differently. It's definitely not my usual style, but it's nice. So yeah, so these are my big, the big portion of my works in progress this week. I admit it was kind of an off week for me. Like I said, I was waiting on my family feedback to get back and trying to think about what big projects I wanted to do next and trying to figure out when I could get to the store. I'm really not a buy things online kind of person. It just doesn't really make sense to me. I really want to see something and touch it, and like, you know, I feel like you have a much more visceral reaction. You kind of fall in love with things differently when you see them. And I just don't enjoy really shopping online unless I have to, or if I'm trying to get something on a really good deal. Absolutely, I will buy things on clearance online. But whenever I can, I try and go to a store just because I think it makes it a little bit more meaningful for me, and it's just how my brain works. So next, we can get into some of our works in progress slash new yarn. Before I forget, I just recalled that I forgot to talk about what I am wearing today. So this is actually my Provence top. I'm blinking on the Raveler right now, but I made this, had to have been in the spring of this past year, and I did it on purpose, wanting something that was light and that I could wear spring, summer, fall, or, you know, with layers in the winter. And this is made with a cotton yarn, and I absolutely love it. I would totally make this again, except this pattern is a giant pain in the ass. And I say that with love, and I do think I would make it again just because it is so beautiful, and I would love to have this in more colors. I did alter the sleeves a bit, and ended up going up with this kind of drapey enlarged sleeve, which I thought was really feminine and not at all my style, but kind of really fun. And I did crop this a little bit just so it fit really nicely with the types of jeans that I like to wear. I guess I haven't really talked about it except in passing, but as far as size goes for me and what I knit, I tend to knit the smallest or the second size up pattern or size for most patterns, and I'm definitely what's considered a US extra small, and that's just for most things, and I definitely try and really pay attention to fit when I knit. I alter a lot of my knits just because I'm very picky, and if I'm gonna knit something, I want to wear it, and it doesn't make any sense to me to make something that you don't like the shape of. So I apologize in advance if you really like something of mine and I altered it, and so it might not always look the exact same on you. and I admit I take terrible notes. So I'm trying to get better at it, and if you check me out on Ravelry, you will also see that I am not at all up to date. I go through periods where I will, but I don't love spending a ton of time on the computer. I use the computer a lot for work, and I just don't really do it at home often. But I will make a point of trying to do some updating of my Ravelry soon. Not only just because I think it makes it easier for you guys to follow along with what I'm doing, but also because, you know, it's nice for me to have notes or a better idea of what I've made. There's some times where it's like, you know, you just wish you'd written it down, and it is such a great resource for that, but there's always room for improvement. So now on to the main event, talking about some works in progress, new yarn, new projects coming up. So I've got a couple of bags here to go through. Where to start? Okay, first, work in progress. I just cast this on yesterday. I just needed something easy to watch TV, and I have a feeling I'm going to be doing a bunch of these kind of easy, no-brainer projects over the next few months, just trying to make up little gifts for people or little extras, socks, hats, that kind of thing. So this is going to be a wide brim hat. This is the petite knit Oslo hat pattern. I didn't really pick it because it was petite knit. I just picked it because it was one of the first pictures in the beanie hat search that was like, oh, yep, that's the one. You know, nothing to report so far other than that it is dull. It is not a very interesting knit, and I am curious because I would have thought you're supposed to knit the brim and then fold it over, pick up stitches, and then continue knitting the body from there, kind of in like a mock double knit or like a grafted, you know, but I'm a little, and I should have just probably done it when I first read it, and I was like, oh, that's odd, but I think if I make this again, I probably will cast on with a different yarn, and then put both live stitches together, just because I'm a little concerned that I'm not going to love how this looks in the finishing, but it is also hidden under a hat brim, so relax, I'm not even to that point in the pattern yet. But this is just Lana's Light Barocco yarn, which I did buy in 2 colors because I couldn't decide which one I liked better, but I feel like I'll just use this yarn to bust out some fun hats and maybe a pair of socks. You know, just easy, beautiful, kind of light colors. And this is on a 4 needle. So there's one. The next one, I admit, I've kind of been waffling about. This was that Blue Sky Fibers cotton worsted. I believe I showed last week. And I cast on a few different sweaters at this point, and I'm just not falling in love. You know, I don't know how it is for you guys, but for me, like, if I'm not super motivated to do a project, or just something feels off, I just can't really work on it. And that's kind of what I've been getting from this project, so I'm going to take my time with it. I did find a pattern I think I really love that I think I'm going to go with instead of whatever the hell this is. But I admit I do have a feeling that this is going to be kind of a slow burn project for me, and then this one I really just try and get done by Christmas. So don't you just hate that? But like, I don't know, it's just kind of how my brain works sometimes, and I don't know, maybe I'm weird, but you know, you just get feelings, and the projects themselves have feelings. Oh god, I sound crazy. This next one, I'm missing. Oh, there it is. Oh my gosh, it scared me for a second. I was like, oh Lord, I hate, what if my dog had one of these? So these I balled up last night. They're just kind of beautiful, hand-dyed, variegated tone, fingering weight yarns from Wonderland Yarns. This is the Marianne, which is a sock weight made with merino wool and nylon. And I've got two different colorways here. I've got black pearl and all aglow. And with these are going to become a pair of mittens for my sister. She has requested some for Christmas this year, and I found the most gorgeous pattern. I finally picked one. It was really hard, especially because mittens are so fun and graphic, and she is an artist as well, and so I wanted to pick something I felt really suited her. So I think I'm going to go with the March Hare pattern, which I will link below, which I think is just going to be absolutely gorgeous and really cool in these two colors. And it's going to be my vision that this is going to be the contrast, and that this will be the body color for that knit. I just need to buy some more twos, because I admit I don't usually knit that small, and I lose track of knitting needles all the time and just buy new ones. Next project, now this is going to be another big one, and I am really excited about that. This is another Wonderland Yarns colorway. This is Tulip Roots, which I think is just the most gorgeous color. It's kind of got this dusky, rusty rose color with these beige undertones, this bit of orange to it, and brown. And I'm actually going to be pairing this with the Rowan Kid Silk Haze in colorway. Oh, it's just a number. Well, that's less fun. Anyway, but this beautiful kind of taupey brown mohair, and I think this is just going to turn out so cute. And this is going to be for a poncho for my mother, which if you knew Shelly, you know she's a poncho lady. But she requested something that was kind of peachy coral, and I just felt like this would look really nice with her skin tone. She's pretty fair like I am, and although neither of us are natural, we're blondes currently, for me anyway. So I did just pick a pattern for this, but hopefully next time I can show you guys some actual progress, and I am so excited to do a swatch of this and just see what these actually look like together, because in my head it is so pretty, and I think it's going to be so soft and kind of luxurious, and I'm hoping it has a really beautiful drape as well. The last couple of things I bought, these were a little bit of an impulse purchase. I actually bought these for a hat for my dad, but then I got home and I remembered that he wanted a red one. But this is just the Plymouth yarn, Shades of Sakota. I don't know how you pronounce that. And this is another blend with wool and cotton and nylon, and I will just use this to make socks instead and buy a red for him. And he's easy, he just wants like a hat. He could just go buy a hat, but I'll make him a hat if that's all he wants. He's the easy one. And then my last purchase, this was a total impulse buy, and this is a beautiful Malabrigo Machita, and this is colorway Desert. I just saw this and I needed it in my life. I have no plans, but I am so excited to make something with this. So, I guess that's everything right now. Not a lot on the needles yet, and that's okay. I don't really want to overwhelm myself by doing too many projects at once, and I admit I am super excited about a bunch of these, so you know, the temptation is real to just get everything started, but I don't, yeah, we'll just kind of see kind of what comes together first or fastest and take it from there. But anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoy this beautiful fall weather. Get outside when you can. I know here it's been raining off and off, and I love it. Just the perfect day to sit at home and knit and relax. And hopefully you guys get to do some of that too.